Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I got advice from one of my subscribers that I should do a little introduction with speaker face before I continue with my tutorial. So this way you will have a better experience of the video itself. So now we go to the summit room, and you need to have press the button start machine before you continue reading, because it takes time to load it, and you will have to wait until you see this link. So after you see this kind of link, you can start your exercise. So we have room prerequisition. It's the pyramid of pain and Dimitri to understand the attack that we're dealing with. So as we remember from the pyramid of pain, we have each one of the layer of attack happening. So it can be hash value, IP address, domain name, etc. So from the easiest, which is bottom, to the tough, which is top. So let's go to our exercise. So once you open, you will need to have a look at the email and what does it says, and it says you need to conduct a threat simulation and detection engineering test. So you will need to check in the malware sandbox tool and review the generated report. So we go to our malware sandbox. Why not just clicking on the file? You could do this, but it's safe to say that if you're working in a company, it's better to go to the sandbox and run the file there rather than clicking on any malware and hoping it's open in malware sandbox. So what we see here, it connects to unusual port and it's detected. So first part of the pyramid of pain is hash values. So we will have a look at the hash value. You can take this hash value or first one. I'm gonna take first one, it's shorter. And we press on manage hashes and choose our hash value type and put hash value. Submit it, and we see we got a new email with our code. So we copy the code and we press the code here. Now we go back to our mail. So we got again new sample and we need to scan in malware sandbox to know more about it. So go to our sandbox again and press sample 2. So what we see here, it connects to unusual IP addresses and unusual ports. So IP addresses is the next step in our case. So let's have a look at there. So what IP addresses? It also says it's Trojan, which means it's pretend to be something else. And we take our IP addresses, and what does it says over here? Get method. Get to this IP address. So it plans to take all your traffic. So we go, not to the summit, okay, we go to our firewall. We create new firewall rule, and ingression is any traffic that's trying to get in, but in our case the malware try to get out of us the information, which is egress, and you press destination, which is this malicious IP address, and source any, and you just press deny. So that says nice work, and we got new email, and here is our code. So we just pressed. So now let's look at the sample 3. It says they signed up for cloud service providers and now they have access to many more public IP addresses. which means we don't need to anymore set up rules for IP addresses. And what is goes next is in our pyramid is domain name. So let's have a look what is our malware with sandbox will say. So we press sample 3, and we have our malware behavior analysis, and it says downloads executable files from the internet. That's really important because it's trying to put a backdoor execution. So you download this file and it's download extra malware on your computer from some domain. And so we have a look at what kind of domain does it download files from. It's the full one. It writes stop download and domain name, deny and save. Now we have another email and we have our new flag. So let's have a look at the sample 4, and we need to scan the analysis. In email it says that we're causing a bit of trouble now, and because of that the attacker purchase and register some new domain names and modify DNS records. So now let's go to our sandbox. So in our behavior analytics, we see that it's try to disable Windows Defender real-time monitoring. So we will need to have a look at that. And we have registry activity. So it says it's value 1 and the key this one, real-time protection, and name disable real-time monitoring. So we need to create new rule for that. We go to the Sigma rule builder, and as you remember it will be the this step which closer to annoying section, and it's called network and host artifacts. So we create Sigma rule, put sysmon event log because it's try to do with Windows system and monitors. And for this step 2 we look for registry modification because it's tried to modify by disabling. So we go to what was the name and the key and the value. So the key was this one. The value was 1 and the name is disable real-time monitoring. And the value 1. So as you see it's AT and CK. So some companies has to identify what type of rule you're setting up for what type of attack. And is it reconnaissance, is it persistence, and things like this. So you need to identify. In our case is defense invasion because it tried to change our defense. Validate. And we have new email. Here is our flag. So we copy that and paste. So let's go to the next one. So what it says over here in our next email, it says we have touch logs and of outgoing a network connection from at least 12 hours on the victim machine. And we need to find what is wrong. So in our case, the next time will be it's the tool that the hacker use. So let's look at here. We see the same file with the same size, which it's unusual. Usually the size of the file is changing, but we also see is this file, for example, for 97 bytes. It was 10 o'clock, 97 bytes, 10:30 o'clock, and 11. Yeah, it's basically, you can see that it was executed automatically. There is no way human will persistently at the same time open the same file with the same size from the same port. And yeah, let's have a new rule open here, because every time I open in another part it's closed. So sysmon event logs, that's what we need, because in our Windows system we need to change our logs activity. This is the network traffic, because we have the port and the destinations and the source. Instead of saying what is the remote IP address, we put any, and the port we also will put any. Size byte, so this is, we have specific, it's 97. Frequency every 30 minutes, it's 1800. And ATT and CKID, so we see here, and it's basically a command and control, because it's executable through the command line, and it tries to run it every time. So we boot a new role, and we have our new email. So we just place this flag. So now we have the new email, and we have command logs, and as we see over here, it's in every directory tries to collect the data, logs in our case, and it stores in temporary folder. And this part is when the attacker uses tools and TTP, which is harder. So we need to create new rule. So create new rule. We see it's log, system logs. So we choose system logs over there. We go to the file creation and modification, because it's try to exfiltrate the data, and we put the pass in. I did wrong, hold on. It's like this. Okay, so now we can view, and this is our folder. And this is our name. So now we go to the ATT and CK, and as we can see, what is the exfiltration? It's when trying to steal your data from your network. In this case it's system logs, and this will be exfiltration. Now you complete it, you press an email, and you copy this flag and just paste it. Okay, thank you.